Brothers and sisters, I'm Jesse with Living Tree Community Foods, and today we're in one of the wonders of the world. This is the edible schoolyard at Martin Luther King High School here in Berkeley. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Berkeley, filled with magnificent golden sunlight, and it's a privilege and joy to be here among the flowering plants, the trees, the vegetable, and even and I can see over there a stand of sweet corn. So it's a very, very splendid and magnificent time of year. The kids have just gone back to school. So we want to talk today about our origins, if we may. The other day, a box arrived for us, and I opened it, and it was filled with heirloom and historic apples. And this meant a great deal to us because we got our start as a tree nursery. We propagated heirloom and historic fruit trees going back hundreds of years. We did trees from England, from France, from Russia, and from Germany, and we propagated the trees. We shipped them during the dormant season throughout the United States. And this was a business, and I did this in conjunction with John Kozak, a genuine farmer. John was with the Biodynamic Farming and Gardening Association of Southern California. It was a privilege and joy to work with him. I learned so much. So for 10 years, we propagated heirloom and historic fruit trees. We did this in Marin County, just across the bay on the coast. It gave us a lot of satisfaction. It never earned any money. In order to buy a tree these days, you have to own land. If you're a renter or if you're living in an apartment, it's rather difficult to plant a tree, let us agree. Anyway, we propagated heirloom and historic fruit trees, and some trees that we had given to a friend, some 20 years ago. Some 20 years ago have now fruited. It's amazing how 20 years have just flashed like that. And now we see the apples, the fruits of our labor. I opened up the box with great excitement and expectations. And first of all, there was our pink pearl apple. This is an apple that's pink inside. You can see the pink around the periphery of the slice. So he sent us some pink pearl apples. He also sent us some Gravensteins, which is a classic of Northern California. And he sent us also some Hudson's Golden Gems. This is a magnificent, huge apple. It's an English apple. He sent us these. And also, he sent us a few Warren pears. This is a pear that we had the privilege and pleasure of introducing to California. The pear was found by Mr. T.O. Warren, a member of the North American Fruit Explorers, and he found it somewhere in the wilderness in Louisiana. And he noticed something very strange about it, that in circumstances of humidity and heat and humidity, where normally a pear would be subject to fire blight, the tree itself appeared to be resistant. And the fruits were very, very special indeed. So he propagated the tree. It's named very appropriately the Warren pear. And he gave me permission to introduce it here in California. And now in leading markets, If you look, and in some of the farmers markets also, you'll find Warren pears. So this was one of our accomplishments. And so that's how we got our start. We had to close the nursery. It never made any money. It never paid for itself. So we closed the nursery and I started making almond butter. And the almond butter business, I'm very glad to say, has grown since then. It's a natural for California because California produces something like 80 to 85% of the world's almonds. And the almonds grown here in California are of much higher quality than those grown in Sicily, south of France, or in Spain. Much higher quality, taste and flavor are beyond compare. So we started making almond butter. We started making, and that led naturally enough to making tahini, sesame butter, to making cashew butter, walnut butter, pistachio butter, and so forth. And the business, I'm gratified to say, has grown from there. But we started out as a tree nursery, propagating heirloom and historic fruit trees. And I would like to say, brothers and sisters, that if you're concerned about the food you eat, it's more important than ever to grow it yourself, or at least a part of it yourself. You cannot rely upon the food chain. It's much more fragile than people care to imagine. And it's also sad and tragic. And when I go into a fruit store here, right now when I see prunes, for example, selling at nearly $5 a pound, when I see plums, $4.95, $5 a plums, peaches, apricots, nectarines, now selling at exorbitant prices, and these are the prices right here in California where the fruit is grown. But when I travel back east and visit natural food stores there, the prices are simply exorbitant. The fruits here, the fruits in all of those stores, by the way, are all grown here in California, and they are simply treated as crown jewels there. The prices are beyond belief. Get back to the land. Get hands and feet in the soil if you possibly can. Join a community garden. Get with friends and neighbors and turn that front yard into an heirloom historic fruit tree orchard, and that backyard into a bio-intensive vegetable garden. It can be done. It can be done. You cannot rely upon the organic in stores. You simply can't. Organic, the whole nature of organic is undergoing profound changes. The big guys are moving in, the small family farmers are being pushed out. And then there's the threat of hydroponics, of growing fruits and vegetables in shipping containers, in closed buildings under artificial light, where the fruits and vegetables are grown in chemical soup, believe it or not. This is called hydroponics, and astonishingly, this is perfectly okay as far as the organic laws go. And all these berries that are available during the winter, the berries, the raspberries, the blackberries that are available in natural food stores all through the winter, they're all hydroponically grown. They're all grown in chemical soup. And that's one threat to organics. The other threat is that all of this, so much of this organic meat, organic milk, and organic meat is raised, is created from animals that are crowded together under unspeakable circumstances. This cannot be. This cannot be. This has to change indeed, and we have to change it by ourselves. We have to go one by one. So if you're concerned about the fruits and vegetables that you eat, if you're truly concerned about food that you eat, we say grow it yourself. And if you don't have access to the land, even in the privacy of your garden, you can grow sprouts. You can grow microgreens. There are so many wonderful videos on YouTube which will show you just how to go about doing it. So these are a few thoughts I'd like to share with you, brothers and sisters, about our origins, about our intentionality, and where we at Living Tree Community Foods are coming from. So let me conclude by saying, let us go forward into abundance and into vitality. Thank you very much. It's been a privilege and pleasure talking with you.